out.
Hi, Corey Geiger, joined by Neil Riddell, our PSU Presser video. And Neil, Penn State has Senior Day coming up on Saturday against Nebraska at Beaver Stadium. They typically have played well on Senior Day, a lot of emotion in the stadium and for the players. Would you expect the same this week?
Yeah, I would. I mean, last year against Wisconsin, there was a lot of emotion. It was the final game of the year. Penn State still has to go to Wisconsin this year, but they're feeling better about themselves coming off a win against Purdue. It's been an up and down season. They haven't been able to string together a couple wins in a row, so this is a big game.
Purdue was not a good team, but Penn State took it to them and played very well. And I'm a big believer that if you win, you build a lot of confidence, even if you beat a bad opponent. So you think that will linger over for the Nittany Lions this week?
Yeah, I think, plus the fact that there's an opportunity against Nebraska and it's Senior Day, that timing seems to be in their favor. They've played better defensively the last game and a half since the first half against Minnesota. And I think that's going to be really one of the keys to the game because both teams, I think, are going to be able to move the ball.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of points scored. But to be honest with you, I'm a little surprised that Penn State's favored. I'm picking Nebraska to win. I'll give the score in just a minute. Nebraska went to Michigan and won. Nebraska beat Illinois by 20. Nebraska scored 28 points on Michigan State, and Michigan State had one of the 3 or 4 best defenses in the country. So Nebraska on offense can do a lot of things, led by Amir Abdullah, the Big Ten's leading rusher.
Yeah. But their defense, it's interesting. They held Michigan to 13 points at Michigan. So they've been an up-and-down team, too. They beat Northwestern on a Hail Mary. Right. They were fortunate. Really, they could be coming in here had they not made that play. And you could say the same thing against Penn State. So it's really sort of a coin flip, whether it's a 2-point favorite one way or the other, but the line broke and Penn State was a 2.5-point favorite.
And sometimes you get in these games with bad defenses or struggling defenses, and I think Nebraska's going to be able to move the ball. Then it's just whoever has the ball last. Nebraska does have a freshman quarterback in Tommy Armstrong, who's replacing Taylor Martinez, who's hurt. And Armstrong had a bad week against Michigan State. He is going to start. But you would think that maybe Bill O'Brien and John Butler would be able to devise some things to come up, maybe to surprise a freshman quarterback.
Yeah, and last week I noticed it seemed like there were more corner blitzes. They were starting to play a few more newer guys on defense. Brandon Bell played. He did not mention Brandon Bell as being injured because he was kind of helped off the field last week. So, I think they tried maybe a couple new wrinkles. Amos, blitzed on the corner and had one of his better games. So this will be a good test for the Penn State defense.
One thing that was mentioned today during Bill O'Brien's press conference, some guys giving up their last year of eligibility, including Gary Gilliam and Kyle Boblitz, also Alex Kinney, the receiver from State College. We'll have some more on those things in the paper, but were you surprised either by Gilliam or are you surprised that Alex Kinney, it just never worked out for him there?
I don't know what it was clear this coaching staff did not really want to give him that much opportunity. He played a little bit last year as kick returner, and it just did not seem like he fit in there. They've been looking for players, they've been looking for even returners, so I guess they just don't think he's good enough. That happens. I was surprised about Gilliam because I think they had moved him to tackle this year. They had played him a good bit. I mean, and last week they went to a 3-tackle at times alignment. So I guess I was surprised. I don't know everything about Gilliam. I know he had a struggle in his personal life growing up, but I don't know enough about him now to know why he doesn't want another year. All
right, should be a good game. A lot of points scored. I like offense, in case you didn't know.
No, I never heard that.
What's your score prediction?
I picked Penn State 30-24. I think the emotional quotient this week will be a big. Whichever team really can play more inspired, because I think they're both reasonably even. Nebraska might even be a little bit better. But I think, on your Senior Day, with the emotion of the home crowd on the students, will be on break, and Bill O'Brien was kind of appealing for a good crowd. This is always the tough time of the year as far as packing the stadium. That's another subject. There's not that many teams that can pack the stadium when the students are away. Pitt is probably the only one, Pitt, Notre Dame. But we'll see if Penn State to play an inspired game.
I think they will play inspired. I just think Nebraska's going to have a little bit too much offense. I'm going 31-27 Nebraska. Again, Nebraska in some common opponents, and I'm a big believer in common opponents, not just one, but if you look at several. They went to Michigan and won. Penn State really had to get a miracle finish to beat Michigan at home. Nebraska beat Illinois by 20. Penn State played really poorly and needed overtime to beat Illinois at home. So maybe, that's not always.
They went to Minnesota and lost.
By 11.
Yeah.
Penn State lost by 14.
I don't think they've played Ohio State, have they?
They have not. So
have they even played Wisconsin?
They've not played They've not played Wisconsin. So it's one of those types.
Their schedule's been maybe a little easier.
Maybe it has, but again, when you go to the big house and win, look, maybe my philosophy on it is wrong, looking at the common opponents, but I think Nebraska's played better against some of these common opponents than Penn State has played. So I'll go 31-27, but hey, it would be good to see the Nittany Lions win at home because senior day with all these kids have been through for the past couple of years, they deserve to go out on top at home just like they did last year.
Yeah, and that would clinch a winning season. I mean, last week they clinched a non-losing season, but they could get to at least 7-5.
All right, for Neil Riddell, I'm Corey Geiger, Mike Boydum on our video. Thanks for tuning in.